Hello, and welcome to the Lesson 21 case study for 7411 Administering Windows Server 2012 R2. Now, in this case study, we're actually validating Bill, the network administrator's group policy infrastructure. Now, something that Bill has determined and what a lot of organizations will do, you'll have kind of like a top-down policy. You'll have the IT department who's in charge of group policy. And group policy, as you know, is basically granting permissions and denying permissions to certain network resources for individuals, for computers, for organizational units, etc. Now, Bill's policy states that the IT department is in charge solely of group policy. So the IT department makes the determination about who has access to what resources. Now, it's not only the IT department who is the king of all these decisions. The IT department has to collaborate with the managers of other departments to ensure that employees have access to the network resources they need access to in order to do their jobs efficiently. So if you have a user in a department who has access to some resources but then eventually needs access to other resources, there should be some type of system in place for the manager of that department to request the staff member to have access to any additional resources. And usually that is done through a ticketing system. So a manager will put in a request. That request is then followed up upon by the IT staff member, and then eventually by the IT administrators, and it could also have to go through several other forms of approval before any type of request access is granted. But these request accesses go through some type of formal system. They're auditable. People can look at the path that that request is actually taking before it's approved or disapproved. And it actually can be traced and it can actually be archived, so there's some record kept. If you don't actually have a system like that, then the group policy infrastructure pretty much turns into a Wild West environment. You can actually also give users and organizational units access to their own group policy infrastructures, and you can give them complete control over administering group policy for any objects in their units. So you can have managers also become the determinant of whether or not they want to give their employees certain access to certain resources on the network, and that can also turn into a problem. I personally recommend the top-down approach, where you have the IT department that actually does the process, of and actually performs the process of granting access and denying access to resources, because I think that's a more controlled approach. And if you have the IT department doing that through the controlled ticketing system, it's a win-win situation and a very carefully managed situation for all constituents involved.